Call the meeting to order. Could you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, Stan Martin is absent tonight because of a work requirement. Martha Eldridge?
Here.
And Rick Morgan's here. Public input, anybody? Nobody? Just here to visit. Okay, we'll start into the red folder. We have the minutes of the Selectmen's meeting which occurred on Monday, July 16th. I make a motion we accept them as printed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have the minutes of the Selectmen's work session and department head meeting which occurred on Monday, July 16th. I make a motion we accept them as printed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May seem like we go right through this stuff pretty quickly, but we've had a chance to review this independently before the meeting. We have the check voucher totals. Payroll for week ending 7/21 was $45,241.50. We had accounts payable for week ending 7/16 in the amount of $47,151.02. We made a school payment to the Governor Wentworth School District in the amount of $1,592,613 for a total disbursed of $1,685,005.52. Additionally, we have water and sewer accounts payable, which we track separately, in the amount of $6,004.39. I make a motion we sign it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's a lot of money no matter how fast you say it. Before I forget, this afternoon we did have a work session upstairs, and we did have a short non-public under RSA 91A32C, which is a tax matter with our tax collector. And for that purpose only, I make a motion we seal the minutes of that portion of the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have a payroll reimbursement request. This is from water and sewer in the amount of $3,492.22. I make a motion we sign.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Last week, we put off acting on a request regarding a late application for current use. The applicant, while waiting for this decision, has actually passed away. There is a question as to whether or not his family wants to proceed. So at this juncture, I'm going to make a motion that we deny this current use application as it was not filed by the cutoff dates.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You still need to sign. There is a section you check off to deny an application.
The minutes of the Economic Development Committee for 7/16, they did not have a quorum.
Are we going up in flames? What's that noise?
It's a break in the phone line to the fire alarm. Happens when there's high humidity.
We have a permit to bait wildlife, which has been, we've been asked to approve a bear baiting site. This is in the town forest, 3/10 of a mile from the road, as the actual coordinates here. We've been applied to as a landowner. I have no problem with this, do you?
No.
Signed in duplicate. I make a motion that we approve this bear baiting application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have the Highway Department work log, which is here in the folder for anybody to look at. We have a public notice, which I believe has probably already gone up on the website, with seeking proposals for the selective removal of brush at the windows on the Ossipee Mountain site. Has this been advertised?
It will be this week in the newspapers, it is on the town's website.
Okay. If anybody's interested, it's here in the folder. It will be on the town website and in the paper this week. We have a notice of intent to cut wood. This is on map 263, lot 1 on Granite Road. It's a 16-acre lot, 15 acres to be cut. Joseph and Patricia Bradley are the owners. Western Maine Timberlands is the logger. The taxes have been paid. I make a motion we approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have a notice of intent to cut wood. This is on map 267, lot 1 and 267, lot 2. It's located on Route 171. It's an 87-acre parcel, 65 acres to be cut. David Babson is the owner. Greenleaf Products is the logger. Taxes have been paid. I make a motion we approve it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have a notice of intent to cut wood. This is on map 263, lot 2. It's on the Granite Road. 16 acres, 15 to be cut. William and Anna Hill are the owners. Western Maine Timberlands is the logger. Taxes have been paid. I make a motion we approve it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have a request for a clerical abatement. This is on map 91, lot 13. The property, the reason for abatement is the property wasn't conveyed to the new owners properly and the tax bill went out to the wrong owner. It results in a refund or abatement of $194. I make a motion we approve it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then we have the supplemental warrant to the new owners to collect $194. I make a motion we sign it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have a copy of a check we received from Northeast Resources. It's on scrap metal. We received a check for $1,341.05. We have a copy of a wetlands application, which we're copied on, yes, for public notice. This is on 50 Channel Road, tax map 22, lot 37. And it's for them to replace an existing failing concrete block wall with a dry stack 2-inch diameter stone wall. It's here in the folder if anybody'd like to look at it. We have a temporary outdoor event application from White Horse Addiction Center. They're doing a charity ride on August 25th. I don't have any issue with this. I make a motion we approve it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have a letter which we're revised that we're sending out to New Hampshire Fish and Game. It's to Garrett Grasscamp, the coordinator. We are writing to follow up on our request from August of 2014 requesting reconsideration of the swimming restriction that has been placed at the Car Top Boat Launch on Connor Pond in Ossipee under Administrative Law FIS 1602.01. This location has been used for many years as a swimming area for residents and visitors, and it would be a shame to lose this privilege. Also, it's been brought to our attention by several of the abutting property owners that there is an issue with rubbish debris originating from the area of the boat ramp that is making its way into the pond and onto the property of others. A suggestion has been made to make available trash receptacles to help keep the pond and boat launch area clean and free of debris. Others have also expressed their concern for the lack of a sanitary facility and the necessity of providing this convenience to the boaters and fishermen who enjoy the facility. Your consideration of our request is greatly appreciated. If we can be of assistance, please feel free to contact our office. I'll make a motion we sign.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'm also going to suggest, because Sam was in favor of this, it would give her an opportunity to sign that
Sign.
before it goes out. If you would.
Can I add my signature to the letter?
Absolutely.
I don't know if it was appropriate, but.
No, I don't have any issue with that if you'd like. Just have her type on a signature line for you.
Yep.
Okay. We have our reports, which are filed monthly from our dog officer. We have a notice of decision. This is from the planning board. This is on case number 18-2-SUBD. It's conditional subdivision. It's 95 Blake Hill Road. It's here in the folder if anybody'd like to look at it. We also have a notice of decision, planning board. This is case number 18-3-SPR. It's Ossipee Granite Recovery LLC, and they were granted a conditional site plan review, which is here in the folder if anybody'd like to look at it. We have an application for water service. It's 80 Route 16B. Says it's an existing commercial.
It's the laundromat.
No additional service required. Service has been connected and billed for months. However, it is turned off at street as of today. I'm not sure I understand this.
Wayne, explain it.
It's the old laundromat.
Okay.
It's been shut off for 2 years.
Okay.
Anything over 2 years, we'd like to have reapply.
Okay, if you don't have any issue, any problem with this?
No problem with that.
I make a motion to approve. All in favor? I didn't see you sitting there. The only other thing I have left in the red folder is the issue of the Boston Post cane.
There was no other eligible.
I can't imagine there's gonna be too many more that are more than 104 years old, so,
Big arrangements to contact.
will you contact the family?
Yes.
Make sure that, one, that they're willing to, that she's willing to receive it, and we'd like to get that set up to do as soon as possible. We have another commemorative cane here already.
No, but it will be here before.
Well, I'm gonna suggest you order a couple extras, so we'll get them in and have them. Okay. That concludes the red folder. We already talked about the Boston Post cane, we've talked about Corner Pond. Brad, anything new on 28 and 171?
No, I have nothing new on that one. I did receive an email today from Alan Hanscom over in Guilford about the sidewalks. He updated, he confirmed they were over here around the end of June, looking at the site and stuff, walking it and getting ideas on it. He had a question about the crosswalks, asking if they were all permitted and stuff, and I just responded back to him today stating that, you know, the 4 existing ones have been there since I've been here. There's only one new proposed one that we're putting in along by the railroad tracks where those cross Moltenville Road there. Yep. Actually, no, that state road's still there. Yeah, they actually go up there quite a ways. They go up beyond the park. State owned, yeah, and when we do the right-of-way research, they extend up in there a ways. Yeah. So anyway, so I point out to him that was the only new proposal that we're looking for. He did have a question about some drainage issues with right across the street from here at the entrance to the elementary school. With the water coming around, then if we curb that out where it's going to escape to get down into that low wetland there. So I'm going to go meet with White Mountain tomorrow. We'll look at that and see if we can come up with an easy design to take care of the water right there and get that information to them.
Did you have a sense if you get that answered, how long it might take them to?
No, I didn't, because it was just emailing back and forth quickly here today, so when I get back to him this week, I'll try and get a time frame type thing, so, yep.
Anything new on the covered bridge?
Nope.
And the windows we've talked about, we're putting that up. We also did meet today in a work session with both Brad and Brewster and discussed the transfer station fees, and again, there's been no decision made. So we're still kicking that around. Old business. Martha, anything?
Nothing.
The only thing I've got is we have been working for some time now. We actually joined, I think is it 21 other towns altogether on cable?
Right now, she's trying to regionalize it to just some towns in the area. I think Brookfield just jumped on with this firm, and Tamworth is on the firm. She's trying to keep it in this region, so.
Okay.
But she is using boilerplate information from agreements that she's worked on with other towns.
Okay. For some time, we actually had contracted with an attorney who was representing a bunch of different towns, trying to get the cable, to redo our cable franchise agreement to extend cable service to more areas of town that don't currently have it. You know, not to rewrite history, but back when cable was first allowed into the town, that was probably the only time that the Board of Selectmen had the negotiating ability to have demanded that it go to every road. Quite frankly, I think they should have, and they didn't, but that's neither here nor there. Up until now, unless there are 15 houses in a course of a mile, and it doesn't satisfy the density for them to install cable. As all of you know, today it's not about having more television options. It's really about the ability to have high-speed internet at the property. We've been told that just even the sellable value of a house goes down by about $13,000 if it doesn't have cable access. So many people are working, you know, from home today and everything else. So we're working on it. We have a proposed draft which has been prepared, which will now go back to Charter Communications, and if it's successful, it will close an awful lot of gaps in service that we currently have. In fact, if they agree to all of it, it's going to solve most of them. So there's a few roads, obviously. Hodges Pond Road probably will never meet the population density to have cable, and nor do we need it. But those areas that have got residences in it, we're trying our dangest to do it. One of the things that may well happen, and Martha and I have discussed this, we're certainly in favor of it. We get a cable franchise fee, which amounts to around, correct me, between 12 and 13,000
13 to 15.
in the course of a year. And one of the things that they've done, and Charter has done with other towns, is they have agreed to do some of the expansion if the town chooses to pay some of it, either through reducing those fees that they pay us or bonding it over a certain period of time. We're open to all of the above. Again, this isn't about television. This is about extending that internet access to as many of our residents as we can. So we're still working on it. That draft agreement is here, and the reason I bring it up, if anybody has an interest in this, I've been contacted by a lot of people over the last 5 years who are definitely interested in it. Anybody that does, we have a draft agreement. You're more than welcome to share it, and we're more than welcome to share it with anybody that wants to see it. So it's here.
I have a question with that.
Sure.
You said that's with Charter?
It is.
Is that Spectrum?
It is.
No.
Yeah.
Is that the mother company?
Yes. No. That's all I had under old business. New business?
Nope.
Nor do I. Public input.
Yeah, you talk about that cable, I gotta say, Hulu and Wi-Fi seem to be taking over the place of the cable TV.
Well, they are, except that in order to get the Hulu, you have to have the cable.
My daughter had cable, okay? And when the landlord was ready, well, he sold the house, so she had to move, but he had to cut off the cable service because he was selling the house. And he wasn't providing free cable service.
Unless I'm wrong, listen, you're talking to one of the most technologically challenged people in this room, I'm sure.
No.
My understanding is that you would still have to have the fiber optic cable coming to your house in order to gain access to the internet, unless you're doing a satellite, which is extremely expensive.
That wireless internet we've had for years.
Somebody else want to help me out here, because I think, please, go for it.
You can't get that without being attached to an internet somehow, like for the consolidated, and they won't go everywhere either.
They're also doing it through your phone,
Yeah, you can do it through
because
your.
I have it in mine.
But you have to get signal, like at my house, I couldn't get a signal on my phone. So we had to get a booster for the phone to work, and Consolidated came in maybe 3 years ago. So, and still, it doesn't go everywhere.
Yeah, the 3G or 4G is everywhere, but some places it doesn't get to the house.
Right.
But if you've got that in here, you'll get internet.
We're working on it. Anyway, something that is important, and again, it's not just about television today,
Yeah,
and I tell anybody else. I mean, it opens the world to your living room, so
yeah, because
we're working on it.
just like me, I still use the internet, okay? But I use the wired service via telephone, which I could bring TV in via that same system, do away with my cable TV.
If you were in a position where you have a place where you have that service, great. We have an awful lot of residents that don't, so. Okay. Anybody have anything at all? Just all visiting. Anything new on the corner pond?
I just need to find out exactly where the funds came from to build that boat ramp, because there are several grants, and the grant language is very specific as to how those funds can be used. And if generally some of those grants, they're matching grants. So let's say 75% of the money comes from the federal government and 25% comes from other funds, and we need to find out where those other 25% funds came from. Because in my research, these grants show nowhere where it restricts swimming from those boat launches, or it says it makes reference to public safety in one of the grants, but none of them, they all list boating as the primary use. And again, I'll say primary, when someone uses the word primary, that insinuates there's a secondary use, and nowhere is it supposed to restrict the public from accessing the water, period. So I guess my question is to do a little bit more research and find out exactly which funds were used, and if there's actually, if Fish and Game is actually breaking the law by restricting access to the water for the public. That's the question. Thanks.
Anybody have anything else? Ed, anything? Any
No,
update on getting our meeting of all our school district?
I was diagnosed with Lyme disease last week, so I was walking around with 102 fever, and it just broke like on Friday, so
Okay.
I was not in the mood to go down and talk to the select. But we're heading in that direction.
Good. We're trying to work out getting a meeting together of all of the boards of selectmen from the 6 towns that send into the government school district. For those who haven't heard what we've discussed over the last few weeks, we had actually sent a letter out to all of the others asking if they were interested in trying to encourage the formation of a budget committee with an elected representative from each town. Now, that was in response to a pretty shocking increase in the amount that we have to pay into the government school district this year. And by increase, I mean it went up $900,000. This one payment that went out today is $1.5 million. That is only one of several that are that large. We now send $8.4 million over there, and I'm not faulting the budget. I'm not faulting the school board in any way, shape, or form. But we have a budget committee here. The county has a huge delegation which goes through the budget, and it seems to me on a $50 million budget that a budget committee would not be a bad thing. Having said that, 2 out of the 6 towns don't think it's necessary, being Wilkesboro and Tuftonboro, and we'll see what happens. The net result this year of that $900,000 increase is that the your taxes in the town of Ossipee are going up $1.33 a thousand. That is after we have worked really hard here to reduce our taxes by 68 cents a thousand over the last 4 years. I've said before, and I will say it again, this is no different than how you folks run your household. It's just that the numbers are a whole lot bigger. And if we can continue to do major projects, if we can continue to fund everything that we're doing and still reduce the tax rate, the school district can do it, the state government can do it, and the federal government can do it. It's the same premise, it's just that the numbers are larger. I don't want to hear it can't be done because we're living proof that it can be done. We'll see what happens. We're trying. If there's nothing else, anybody? I make a motion we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you.